Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Backwoods Boys episode. This one's been a long time in the making. It's been suggested a few times, requested, and we actually said we were going to do it way back. This is how to make a killer lynx lure. So this is going to be not an exact science. You can mix and match kind of like with the killer fisher scent, but we start with something to absorb the scent and just give it body. This is just sawdust, fresh sawdust, so it just smells like wood, just straight from the chainsaw. We used to use dried crushed orange peels, the Christmas oranges or whatever. Eat your orange, save the peel, dry it, and then crush it up and use that as your body mix. But that was on the suggestion of an old trapper who we found out later was actually kind of a sabotage suggestion. It turns out we read online and we actually tested it with some of our cats around the farm. Felines do not like the scent of orange. I don't know, maybe it's citrus in general, but for sure they don't like orange. So the lynx we've caught in the past have been in spite of that, definitely not because of it. So this is just something to absorb the scent and give it some body. We'll just mix in that straight into that container. Some other options that you could use, we haven't tried, but again, this is not an exact science. I would say based on just what we know of this, scentless cat litter, kitty litter would work. Not the stuff that absorbs the scent, but just kind of the really plain, cheap cat litter. Probably the absorbent mixture that you put on shop floors to soak up oil spills and whatever would work the same. Again, it's just something to absorb and hold the scent and give it some body that you can actually put into your little nylon baggie, which we'll show you at the end of the video here. So for ours, we're just using some sawdust. Use whatever you guys want to. So the first additive to that is going to be glycerin. Now this should be completely scentless, but all it does is keep it from freezing in the cold weather. So just mix some of that in. Super precise. And we'll mix it up after each ingredient. So the point of that is just to keep it from freezing when it gets really cold, because if it freezes, it's not going to give off the scent properly that you want to attract the animals walking by. So this just keeps it more pungent in the air. Alright, so once that's mixed pretty well evenly throughout, you'll go on to adding your other stuff. Remember, you can always go back and add some more glycerin if you feel it needs more afterwards, but don't go too heavy on it at the beginning because probably you're going to be adding more liquidy oil stuff. So even though it seems pretty dry now, just resist adding too much until the end and you get the final consistency that you want. So the next thing we're going to add is castor oil. It's been rotting here for a while, so you don't want to have your nose too close to the jar when you open it. It's going to be pretty strong. I should clarify this is beaver castor oil, not just castor oil. Yeah, collected from our own beavers. And very, very strong. So we'll mix that up. Next one that we have here is oil of anise. So aniseed oil, not the extract. This is actual pure aniseed oil. That's important. It's much stronger smelling than the other stuff. So it'll carry the scent more. You can use less of it. And it's just much, much stronger. I would encourage you, if you trap kind of any of the stuff that we do and you use aniseed oil, to buy both the aniseed oil and the aniseed extract at least once, so you can smell and compare them yourself. This stuff you can tell is the good stuff. On the topic of nice smelling scents, normally we'd do wintergreen or something from that branch. Honey. But We don't have it with us right now. That's why it's not an exact science. It has worked well for us in the past, though, and if we had it available, we would put that in. So if you guys have some readily available, I would advise using some of that. You do want to be careful with all of these, though, because you don't want any one scent to overpower everything else. You want them to all work together. So with the aniseed oil or the wintergreen or whatever you choose to use, you want to make sure you're not just smelling like that. You want it to smell like a mixture. We actually also, back in the day, used to use Chanel 7 or 9, 5, I don't know. Chanel followed by a number, that perfume. We're not really up on our fancy perfumes. Just a spritz of that gave it just a little something extra to draw them in when they came by the cubby. We just do that every time we went past. Again, you don't need to. Is it essential? No. But it's not an exact science. So if you want to mess around with a few different things, go for it. This is just an example of what can work. All right. Our next fun addition is fish oil. Now we actually make our own fish oil where you just let the fish soak and age. But ours is in the middle of a batch right now, so we have some of this. We got from our Uncle Carrie's store, trapping store, K&J Northern Fur Stretchers. You see them at the credits at the end of all their videos. All of this could actually be bought there. I would definitely suggest, if you guys are looking for somewhere to buy trapping supplies, check them up. They ship out, great prices, great product, and they know their stuff. All right, so now we've got those all mixed in. These are some dried beaver castors. This is really, really important to your mix. Maybe you can buy them somewhere. Most of us probably catch beavers at some point in the year. Make sure you harvest these and dry them off of your beavers. They're useful in pretty well any scent you do, but they are really important in the Lynx scent. Everything loves beaver, meat, beaver smell, and the beaver castors is like that on steroids. So just an old grater, not mom's cheese grater, not this time. So we'll just grind these up in there, and you can use lots. You're not going to overpower it with these. It just adds some extra punch to it. Now, if you're unsure, if you're new to trapping or you just haven't had much experience with trapping beavers and collecting the castor glands, there should be a video coming up. We've actually already got it filmed. We just need to get time to put it together, like so many other things, of collecting the beaver castors. So keep an eye open for that. It is very handy information, and these, like I said, useful for pretty well every scent you do. So at this point, you'll just kind of go by smell, and you can see the mess we've made around here. This is why you don't do it inside unless you live alone and are disgusting. So keep it clean. Shredding that stuff, it's going to be messy. Just take necessary precautions. So this is what it looks like now. It's close to what we want, but just going by smell, which is what you guys will have to do too. Just see if something is overpowering everything else. Now the fish oil's not that strong of a scent, so it's just to give a little something extra. If you can't smell that, I wouldn't be concerned. But pretty well all you can smell in this is the castor, so it's overpowering the aniseed oil, which is actually very impressive. That's tough to do. So we're going to add a little bit more of that here and see if we can't balance it out a little bit. Much better. Now it's much more of an even smell. You can smell the castor, you can smell the anise oil. So we are pretty well good to go to start making our little baggies with this. So we found really useful for this, you want whatever holder you use for this scent to be able to permeate the smell through it, but still contain it enough that animals aren't getting in and eating it on you. So what we found very useful is Pantyhose. Now, even the toughest trapper probably feels a little self-conscious going through the checkout with their yearly dose of Pantyhose, but unless you naturally have some on hand, no judging, but you're weird. Anyway, moving along. It's nice when you have a new pair like this because you can use the toe. Once the toe is used, so you just cut it whatever size that you want. It's easy enough to tie afterwards. Like so. So there you have a ready-made pouch. When you cut the next one, there, you're going to have two openings, obviously. So you have to tie the one closed, and then you have your pouch. So it's just an extra tie. So that's nice to have the toes. It just gives us an easy one. So we'll just get some of our lovely goop in here. Be generous on the amount that you put in there. It just means you're going to have more scent floating around, and that's definitely not a bad thing. So what we generally do is a baggie about that size. Seems to do the trick. And you use thread or whatever you have available, little tie just to tie it closed. And what I like to do is tie it on one side of your little string. Ideally without using your lips, if you can help it. Resist the urge. No, resist. So there you have it. And now, if you just make yourself a little loop, or like so, I mean, that's a slip knot there, but it'll do the trick. And then you have something that you can just tie it right on the stick. Wrap it around a few times if you want, just to shorten it up. There you have it. And that'll stick right in the snow, in the back of your cubby. There's your Lynx scent. Oh, well, there's Frodo, our little weasel. You can tell the scent's working for something at least. All right, so there's our Lynx scent. Now, we use other things aside from this. This goes in the back of the cubby. If you don't know how to set up the Lynx cubby, check out the other video we did, how to make a killer Lynx set. That basically covers everything around the scent. So setting the trap and all of that. We use other things other than this to attract the lynx. One of them that you see in that video is just regular DVDs, CDs, hanging by a thread in the branches, and the flashing motion gets the lynx attention and gets them coming from down the trail. Because lynx are attracted by scent and by sight. So try to capitalize on both of those. So that's something we do. You put meat at the back of the cubby. We like to use a chunk of beaver meat. Some people use some fish if they have it. Frodo is still running all around here trying to get at this scent. Sorry, buddy. You have to wait a little bit longer. So the, I guess, final thing that we like to do with this lovely soup here is lynx feces mixed with lynx urine. Just stir it up until the solids become soup with everything else. So this you don't want to stick your nose into either. So if this was the stick in the back of the cubby, we'll pull it out when we go to check the sets each time, and you can either dip the tip in like so. I'll try not to drip this on the sled, and have that stuck in the back of the cubby so it's just gunky on top. Or you can take some of this and just pour it just a little wee bit onto the bag, and that'll help hold the scent from that as well. Stick that in the back of the cubby, which I'm going to lean down here and put her down in the snow. And that is how you make a killer lynx lure. Again, most of this stuff can be got at K&J Northern Fur Stretchers. They ship out. Look them up. They're awesome to work with. But it is not an exact science. Figure out what works for you. Try a few different things. Add some things take away some things. If you have a house cat or a farm cat, it works really well to test the different scents on them. That's how we learned that do not use orange peel. Not a good addition to the mix. But yeah, this is what we'll be using this winter. Hopefully you guys find something similar that works for you. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Throw your thoughts down in the comments. We love hearing from you guys. We'll see you next time.